Check 1 2 1 2 1 2. Oh, this should be interesting. To say the least. Let me see. I'm going to have to put these somewhere, preferably right here. All right. Alina, thank you very much for joining us. Keisha, peace. Keisha, was good. All right. I just left your dad a couple of days ago. All right. We're gonna wait for a few more people to come on so we can kind of start this. Peace, Sharonda. Who else? A few other people kind of joining in. Of course, I'm on. Let me say this: in the divine name of the Supreme Being, I want to thank everybody for coming on. But I want to greet everybody with a civilized greeting: peace, shalom, hotep, whatever. I normally position my camera up where I'm equal with it, so I'm not looking down at anyone because it plays on some people's psyche. I don't know why. We'll figure that out a little bit later on. But in the meantime, between time, we're gonna wait for a few more people to come on. Herman, Ted 2X, Sister Shabazz, I see you on, and a few other people. So just the idea of well, I'm gonna discuss a few things, and then we're gonna get into the idea of what the show is. But I'm gonna try something new. All right, tonight in about 30 minutes, you can actually call your friends over there. T-Mobile gave me a dedicated number that you can kind of call me on in the studio. I'm sure everybody's picking this up nice and clear. So this is the number. Oh, that's backwards, right? I'm sorry. 678-900-0912. Can somebody write that in for the rest of the people? B. Son, Harold Taylor, what's good? 678-900-0912. So in about 30 minutes, you can call in. Well, probably I'll give the cue when to call in. Y'all can just call on in. All right. And for the people that are on here on Google Hangout, I'm sure y'all can see the phone number 678-900-0912. 678-900-0912. Call and let's talk. Thanks, Jay Wu. Really appreciate that. Let's talk. Let's dialogue. There's a few things we need to talk about. The premise of this show and how this is going to work is like this. The education of an individual is not solely his education. If it is true that a village raises an individual or a child, then I want to make this a village group thing tonight and have y'all educate me on some things that I should know. All right. So I'm open to receive, and maybe, not maybe, but I'm sure there's some people out there that can impart some things onto me to help me grow as an individual. All right. So in turn, I can help the village grow. All right. But please, when you call, no long Ted 2X. No, not in 30 minutes. Probably I'm gonna give the cue probably in a few more minutes, but not 30. All right. No long drawn out speeches, man. Just don't. Yeah. Get to the point, drop some stuff on me, and in turn dropping it on the people, and let's push forward. All right, I'm trying this phone call thing. All right, so, but in the meantime, the idea of this is like when I'm traveling and I'm studying and I'm putting different things together. It's all right, Ted, we good, bro. I got 2 or 3 other things going on. So sometimes I'll call somebody, like I'll call B Son or We'll Talk or Shakir or John Trey or somebody, and we'll talk. And peace, Soleil. You good? Give me a heads up, sign something. All right. And I'll let somebody know, well, this is the book I'm reading now. I just bought it. I'm just reading it, and I'm kind of going over some things. So, and a lot of times people would want to know like what you're reading, what you're studying, what DVDs you were watching or whatever. So I decided today that I would share that kind of information so we can kind of dialogue about it. All right. Now, keep in mind, when it comes to personal conversations that I have with people, that's an education in and of itself. Like, for example, I was talking to Soleil today, and we was talking about we was talking about, I hope she don't mind. We was talking about the balance in the exchange in sexual energy and how that kind of works. And more intricate than that, the way the Western world thinks of sexual energy and how it's exchanged. So we would talk about the spiritual aspect of it and how the Eastern philosophy with dealing with the different um, positions and that kind of thing on a spiritual level tends to balance things out as opposed to man or male always dominating. Well, Soleil just sent me a message. She says she doesn't mind me talking about that because she said this is what she teaches in her sacred sexuality class, which I'm gonna have to go to the class. Above and beyond some of these yoga positions I'm getting twisted up in, I guess I got to go sit in the class. Aisha Ra just joined on, and speaking of Aisha Ra, me and Soleil will be speaking. Well, Soleil, you want to talk about that at Isha's thing? I believe it's let me get the date right. Saturday, February 25th, from 2 to 6, the Ma'at Body Therapy Holistic Health and Fitness Studio, 25 West Campbellton Street, Fairburn, Georgia. I saw the latest flyer. Ish, you probably need to send me the latest flyer. Kamani's there, Angelina's there, Queen Neat, I think, and a few other people are speaking. So just let me know. Send me an updated flyer, or just put it in here, and we'll make it happen. All right, so my man Uno Jamal just signed on. So let's dive into this. So as I'm traveling, East Coast to West Coast and every place in between, and I'm on the move. My own little celebration. I'm kind of going back through this for the 5th time, correcting some of the things that some people brought to my attention. And thank you very much. And thanks to everyone that has purchased the book. There are actually 20 images in the book. And as y'all see, I made a note to myself. Griff's book, do not sell, replace 20 images. All right, so there's 20 images that are blurry that I am going to actually replace in it. And I'm not only going to replace it, I'm going to speak about those things in the companion DVD. Jamal Crawford said, I want to interview your queen too, FYI, for your information, Tanya Johnson. Oh, thanks for letting me know who she is. Okay, really appreciate that. So, Soleil, now you know Uno wants to interview you, good brother out of Boston. So I'm going back over this and actually rediscovering some things that, that I put in here that I had to go back in because I actually added some of this information to the Black History 101 Mobile Museum lecture that I do at Khalid El Hakim. All right. In my travels, I get a chance to watch some aspects of CNN and some other late night shows and that kind of thing, keeping Khalid up, from having discussions with him. And I was very intrigued by this book, which I actually purchased at the airport, which I don't do because the prices are too crazy. I'm not doing a commercial for Michael Eric Dyson, but I find this very fascinating. Tears We Cannot Stop, Michael Eric Dyson, A Sermon to White America. Very interesting. So I'm getting into it. So I'm going to kind of hold back on what I think about the book. I love the fact that, he quotes the ancestors and that kind of thing. So always a good look. I'm going to actually dive into the book and maybe we can have a talk about this and other authors that I kind of run across. In my quick traveling, I managed to stop by the elder's house to give him and the queen a greeting. And he dropped the second, the revamped, remixed version of this book, which as anyone can tell you, I carry it around with me. This is the first one, which everyone should have. Nayan Sassim, A Calendar of Revolutionary Daily Thoughts. Everyone should have this. Yes, I am doing the commercial. What's up, Dwayne? All right. Everyone should have this. All right, but I got the remix version of it. All right. So even if let's taste test it. What's today's date? 8th, I think. Can somebody tell me? 8th. I think it's the 8th. Yeah. So February 8th. February 8th. My man 7. Peace. 7 joined us. The 8th. Revolutionary Daily Thoughts on The eighth, so he's saying listening is a virtual bond of respect. All right. And to be honest with you, I had to learn that. And I wrestle with that now with not only Soleil, Khaled, and other people. I learned to listen to the whole entire conversation, not only what they're saying, but in most cases, some of the things as far as their intent and the care that they put into choosing the words that they use to speak to me. So listening is a virtue born of respect. All right. Coming from this book is Daily Thoughts. And if you actually have nothing to contribute but a meme or a post on Facebook or a smart comment on YouTube, shame on you. All right. Each one teach one. We're responsible for one another. All right. Aisha said the event is free. So y'all come on down. All right. Anyway, it says be willing to listen to constructive criticism, especially from those who have already been down that road. Yes. Listen for the purpose behind the thought, not simply to tolerate others' statements until your voice can dominate the conversation or escape it. That's beautifully put. There is a difference between speaking with and talking at someone. And as you get into personal relationships with people, whether it's a sisterhood or a brotherhood, or even in a relationship, you learn these particular things as I had to learn them. Not that I didn't know them. I think I had to fine tune some things that I kind of thought I knew. And there's nothing wrong with that. But only thing I ask is let me be the one to fine tune it. All right. How do you spell the name of that book? Nyansasem. It's by Mwalimu K. Bomani Baruti out of Atlanta, Georgia. All right. Mwalimu K. Bomani Baruti. Nyansasem. Got it? All right, cool. Let me just finish this and then we're going to open up the phone lines. All right. The nature of the nature, if the nature is competitive, the feel distant and the rhythm rhythmically, the community will exist in an inferior, tumultuous, tenuous, state. Meaning that if the conversation is not fluid and it's flowing and we understand, and even when I talk, and someone, I can see it in their body language and their intonation of their voice, they really want to add on to what I just said, whether it's confirmation or damnation, I let them speak. But offer me that same thing. When that thought is right on the tip of my tongue, and I don't mean to interrupt your flow, but let me just say this so we can move the conversation on. This is building with one another. All right. So this appertains, that is, unless the fragmentary form of communication fits the personality of the people who comprise the society, and they are voluntarily subsumed themselves under a social construct in order to continue to operate and protect their interests as one. Now, if you, as an individual, only want that person to hear you and you not hear them so you can have a conversation, then that poses a problem. And I'm sure the majority of the people that's listening to this understand what I'm saying. All right. Once again, February 8th in the Revolutionary Daily Thoughts by Mwalimu K. Bomani Baruti, it says listening is a virtue born of respect. His book is online on Amazon. You can go to the Akabin House in Atlanta, or website rather. You can call them up, email them to get the book, or go to Madu Bookstore at Greenbrier Mall in Atlanta, Georgia, to get this book. Also to get my book, Symbology. All right, the Psychological Covert War on Hip Hop, Book 2. You can pick up both of these books at Madu Bookstore. All right. So we're gonna listen. We're gonna have a dialogue. All right. If you talk too much, I'm not really cool with hanging up on people, but trust me, I will hang up on you. So if I could just get one person out there to try the phone number out so that we can turn the phone up and make sure you guys can hear it. Let me see if I can get Cypress Lee just joined us. Who else? A few other people. So let's try the phone number out. I think I'll call it, see if it works. All right. If not, we gotta do something else. I do have an alternate number that you can call. Let me see if I can find the alternate number. How about this? Let me see. Let me see. All right. 678-900-0912. That's how it sounds. My name and face will come up. All right, so we're going to make it happen. The number's good. Remember, this is the education of Professor Griff, not you. All right? Y'all are teaching me. I'm not teaching. I'm just here to learn. All right, so anyone would like to call from Google Hangout, if y'all got the number, 678-900-0912. If anyone want to call, or if you want to type something in and ask me a question, DJ Earth One, peace, sis. I'm here. Earth One, talk to me. We gotta make some things happen. Doing the Soleil project. All right, putting this music together. Let's make it happen. All right. Say the number again. 678-900-0912. 0912. 0912. Give me a call. Let's dialogue. All right. Okay, cool. So while the phone is not ringing, let me just say this. My aspects of my education involves Brother Kaba is on. Peace, good brother. Aspects of my education involves sitting at the feet of the elders. Aspects of my education involves reading. But the comprehension of what I've read may require for me to sit in a study group with other people to debate these things. Aspects of my education. First caller. All right, now you got to let me know. Peace, caller. What's your name? Where you calling from?
Peace. This is Jamal, brother from Boston, Massachusetts.
Peace, Jamal. What's good with you, man?
All right, more accurately, Bosstown, Massa.
Bosstown, Massa. I got you, bro.
All right.
All right.
Hey, so real quick, and I'm gonna jump off so I can hear your response. I deal with this a lot. This whole concept of unity.
Right.
Now, I believe the concept of unity is actually a false concept because from my studies, every ancient book of wisdom, every spiritual book doesn't really go into, at the end, it's all going to be this big kumbaya. It actually talks about it's going to be an ultimate separation. The wicked from the righteous, the weak from the chaff,
right.
That type of thing, right? Okay, so dealing with the concept of unity on a modern day, day level. How can you work with so and so or such and such? We all got to come together. But how do you deal with that in the concept where, like, let's say we're doing a black man thing, but I can't unify with, Brother Pookie because Brother Pookie is beating his woman,
right?
Or selling coke on the side,
right?
Or dealing with a white woman, or dealing with women that are underage, or whatever decrepit level of effery that he's dealing with, and so that prevents us from unifying. Because I can't unify with that. So
right.
I just want you to build a little bit on the concept of unity. Is it a false concept? Is it going that type of thing? So I'll let you take it from there. I'm gonna hang up the list.
All right, peace. Thank you. Really appreciate it.
One more thing. Much love to you and Soleil, man. Once again, I told you this personally, but I want to say it publicly. Watching y'all's relationship live and all the interactions, on Facebook and everything, it's a beautiful sight to behold. And I wish y'all much love and success in the future.
Oh, give thanks. Really appreciate that. And I'll impart that and definitely let her know that, man.
Absolutely.
Yes.
All right.
All right, peace. The concept of unity, is it this construct? Is it a made up kind of unrealistic thing? To sum up his particular question, and he's right on the aspects that he brought forward, but let me just expound on that. And remember, y'all, this is supposed to be the education of Professor Griff. All right, but let me just say this, brother Jamal, no, it's not. The the whole idea of me having to get together with like-minded people and people that that listen to Professor Griff always know I say this. It's like-minded people that we need to get together. So if I'm hooking up with like-minded people, the people that I will draw to me are not going to be the weed smokers, the coke dealers, the pimps, beating on their women, doing all the things that they know they can't get with Professor Griff with, and they can't bring that to the table. All right. If I ignore you, just call me. Just call back. All right. All right. So I meant to hit the wrong button. I meant to say I'm on the air, but I can hook up with those. It may be few. It may be about 12 of those people, but the broader sense and what you just said at the end of your call by watching how me and Soleil interact with one another. All right. What we're doing is trying to invite not only the conscious community, but the greater community in, not necessarily in our business, but into this concept that we call love. You understand what I'm saying? We've been viewing it through the wrong lens. So what I'm doing, I'm putting out a certain energy that will pull those individuals that are like mine to me so I can unite with those people. All right. Now, on the greater sense, all right, if you study the history of Fidel Castro, Che Guevara, and Raul Castro in the history of Cuba, there were different fractions that separated those individuals from Fidel Castro. But when Fidel Castro set it off, he went right back, Brother Jamal, and he went back when he wanted to establish a government. He went back and got those individuals, organizations, and those groups of people to form his government, which spoke for the totality of the people. All right. So I'm not going to unite with everyone. I'm just telling you from the rip. That's just what that is. All right. I'm not trying to unite with everyone. There's some people out there that are doing some stuff that I would never, ever, ever agree with. I'm not trying to unite with everyone. But then again, by saying that, I'm not trying to be anybody's damn leader. All right. This is the gentleman calling back from Birmingham. Let's take his call. All right. Peace, good brother. What's your name? Where you calling from?
Jesse, Birmingham, Alabama.
How you feel, good brother?
Good. This is Griff.
Yeah, some people call me that. What's happening?
Griff, hey. This is Jesse, man. You came to Birmingham about 2 years ago.
Oh, I remember you, Jesse. We almost had to throw you out of the place, right?
Well, I got a year and a half clean, man.
Oh, so you got drunk and sat on the front row of my lecture talking smack, and we almost had to throw you out of there, right?
Right.
Right. Hold on, Jesse. We're going to get back with you. The hell, the brother going to come to the goddamn lecture and get drunk and sit on the front row of the damn lecture, kicking up dust, starting trouble. And my dudes almost had to say, yo, you want him in? I said, no, leave Jesse alone. He's going to be a good one day. And here Jesse is calling. Good old Jesse, boy. DJ Earth One, you're right. I don't even know what to say to dude. It's like, we're going to call Jesse back. All right. How the hell you come to a lecture and get drunk? See, Uno, Jamal, that speaks to us uniting with everyone. I can't unite with everyone. I'm not going to be able to get together. Like if I would have tried to get together with Jesse a year and a half ago, because he just admitted that he's clean. Let's give Jesse a round of applause, y'all. Cypress, I know you got something to say, but Jesse's clean now. So anyway, but damn, getting drunk. Anyway, so like I was saying, I'm just not going to be able to come together with the vast majority of black people. If you study revolutions and how revolutions have formed and have gotten together to bring about a revolution, which means complete constructive conscious cosmic change. It didn't take a lot of people. Eric Cunningham, great meeting you in Charlotte, North Carolina. It's a pleasure meeting you, Eric. Really appreciate that. Shout out to the people in Charlotte, North Carolina. Peace to my man John Trey, Frank Muhammad. But listen, the reason why I haven't been on the air, some big people, they sent me a message on my other phone to let me know, to let the people know, is that, and I said it on Brother Rich's interview last night, which I have another interview with Brother Rich tonight, that at 56 years old and still dealing with Mercury, man, that's all up in my mouth, it takes a toll on you, man. It wears you down. All right. So Soleil was one of the ones that had brought it to my attention that I probably need to get that worked on before I get any older. So I started that process with getting the mercury taken out of my mouth, but there's some other things that they had to correct. So in other words, I went to the dentist and couldn't talk. This is why I was 2 weeks out from doing the Brother Rich interview, and I haven't been on here for a minute. So that's just what it is. I think the person that sent me the message, I don't need to offer anyone an apology. This is just the life that I'm living. All right. So tonight's subject, we're talking about the education, or really the miseducation of Professor Griff. I want to call it the education of Professor Griff because I want to be able to learn from you. So the phone number is 678-900-0912. Y'all give me a call. And what happened to all of the people that I see on Facebook and YouTube, leaving all the comments? This is your time to educate me. I want to know. I'm open. I'm putting my guard down. Yeah, Jay Woo, I'm really 56 years old, bro, for real. Gina Eberhardt is signing in. Peace, black woman. I want to be educated tonight. All right. So y'all give me a call, 678-900-0912. If you want to text or type something to me, if you're on Facebook, just put it in so everyone can see it. Or you could text me at that same number, 678-900-0912. Let's expound on what Jamal gave us. No, I'm not going to unite with Brother Pookie if Brother Pookie is still selling coke. Now, you may say that that's one of the extremes. But on the other end of that, if we're still talking about building ships in order to go back to Africa, I probably couldn't unite with that person either. I'm just being very real with you. Some people say desperate times call for desperate measures. True, but I'm not trying to make Home Depot rich by getting wood and planks and all of that kind of stuff and hammer and nails to build a goddamn boat to travel back to Africa. That's just not realistic for me. All right. Some people may be into the whole sovereign movement, and we could get enough people that are sovereign to the point where we can have a sovereign state or government that we can call our own. Beautiful concept, but is it practical? I think what Elijah Muhammad said, by going and getting 8 to 10 states that we can call our own, at that point we'll already be sovereign. So the idea of filing paperwork and that kind of thing may be a good idea. All right. So, but we have to understand the practicality of it. I'm not shooting that idea down. It's going to take those kind of ideas and many more. All right. But I want to be educated. So I'm open to listening to the Moorish science brother, or to the Hebrew Israelite brother or sister, they may call me, or the brother from the Nation of Islam that want to drop some wisdom on me, or the 5% Nation of Gods and Earth that want to hit me with a plus lesson. I'm open. All right. I'm not knocking down any of that. Shelly says, well, Griff, everyone probably on their phone watching you live. That's cool. So Shelly, just type it in. All right. I'm good. You can type it in. I appreciate your time and energy. Thank you, from Conrad. All right. I discussed what I wanted to talk about tonight, which is a whole different subject, but we're going to get back to that in a minute. Peace. It's Professor Griff on Serious Minds Radio and TV. What's your name? Where you calling from? You just called. Talk to me. Yeah. What do you do with prank callers? Can you smart
This is Brother Shadi calling from. Professor Griff, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Where you calling from?
Okay, I'm calling from Stone Mountain, Georgia.
Stone Mountain, Georgia. All right, what's good?
Yeah. So, all right, so this is my thing. All right, so I understand we can't unite with everybody, but how can we avoid, I would say, the modern COINTEL trick? For example, we also what happened between Brother Umar and Sarah Sutanseti, other people. You know, also, if you don't mind, I was upset. You know what happened, the disconnect between you and Sister Zaza. how can we avoid, although you can't work with everybody, but how can we avoid getting in each other's way and becoming enemies, even though we disagree on methodology? How can we avoid the modern day COINTEL program to disrupt us and divide us?
I think if we all of the four people that you've mentioned, all right, if all of us have different ideologies and philosophies, I think that if we had something that was common, that was in place, given to us by God, whatever you call God, or whoever you call God, him or her, through the ancestors, to the elders, then to us. So once it gets to Griff and I disagree with you, then we take it to the elders, right? And regardless of what you and our beefs are, the elders have to settle that. Are you following me? Now, we can't offer lip service to the elders. Right? Right? So if the elders tell one of us to sit down, be quiet, sit out for 60 days, do whatever, stop with the arguing, fussing, cursing at one another and all that kind of stuff on YouTube or social media, we'd have to take heed to that. Am I right or wrong?
You're right.
If the elders call us in to have a sit down and a talk, the council of elders, right? We have to respect that, right or wrong?
I agree, yeah.
Okay, this is all I'm saying. So there has to be an overall view of our goals, our intentions, and our motives. Is me, Professor Griff, having a show by myself? Is it about my self-aggrandizement? Am I just trying to be a lot more than what I really am? Or am I trying to move all of us forward? And if I'm trying to move all of us forward, I wouldn't mind being checked by my elders or being checked by you. Are you following what I'm saying?
Right, I got you.
And I'm open to that. So we have to understand that. We have to be able to submit to someone other than ourselves and other than our own egos. And this is what Soleil just typed and said. And she's absolutely correct. If it's about Griff and I can't get past my ego and I'm cocky where no one can tell me anything and I'm shooting the bird to the elders and saying, can't nobody tell me anything, then what good am I to you or our people? It was Marcus Garvey who said, there's some of us we can't do nothing with. Here on this continent or on the African continent. We can't do nothing with them. They're no good for us, man. They're no good to us. Plain and simple. All right? And I'm saying, even in the situation that I went through, just so you'll know, because I didn't broadcast it, I was in touch with the elders. Every single step of the way. John Trey on here will attest to that. B. Son, Charles Williams will attest to that. And a few other people that's in my inner circle will attest to that. Kim Nicole will attest to that. And there's about 8 other people that will attest to that. Hell, the elders will stand up for me at this point and say, you know something? We were the first ones that Griff called in reference to that situation. Right. So I did what I thought I had to do. You understand what I'm saying? And I stepped up to the plate, as a man. And tried to do what I thought was right in that situation. And it is what it is, bro. You were mad and upset behind it, and hell, I was. You understand what I'm saying? Because with what we had, we were reaching the people.
Right.
So yeah, but it's just out of my control. At certain points, it was just out of my control. Plain and simple. Plain and simple. I created a platform that I thought would be beneficial. That if I brought a woman on, let that woman speak to other women, right? Because after a minute, my voice gets raspy, and I might use some choice words that people just don't, you understand what I'm saying? Because I got a rough edge about me, and I'm coming from a very militant perspective. Well, I thought that person could be that balance to that and speak to women, and we could have that delicate balance. And, I'm not shooting that individual down, and we did talk some people off the bridge. We educated some people. It ran its course. You understand what I'm saying?
Right.
But just to let you know, I was in touch with the elders, bro. And I did. And Kim, Nicole, you're right. It's about balance. And this is what I try to create. But I really appreciate your call, bro.
All right. Thank you, bro. That's good. Appreciate it.
Yes, sir. Thank you. Peace.
All right, peace.
Just to expound on not that situation, but the whole idea of us having to get along with one another, even though neither one of us may be right. And Soleil said that we have to get past the ego. All right. I could have easily took the position, man, the hell with that. I created this. I did that. I'm Professor Griff. I'm in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. I'm yada yada. I'm in Public Enemy. I'm doing this, yada yada yada. And just said, man, around. No. And everybody that ever listened to me know I'm humble with mine. Plain and simple. I am because we are, therefore I am. There's no big I and little you. You understand what I'm saying? So I'd rather put people that I know that are qualified to be in the position to speak and to do the things. Like, for example, even with Public Enemy, out of the 15 people that we travel with, probably 12 of them came through me because I see that in people. I'm just that kind of individual. You understand what I'm saying? So if I see good in you, I'm seeing the depth of you, and I'm looking at you, peace to Dean Muhammad, and I'm looking at you from a soul perspective and how you can help me, and I can help you benefit our people. And that was my position, and that is my position today. So now when I'm dealing with, I know y'all saw me and Soleil on the flyer, we're gonna be in Atlanta. That is not something that I'm putting together or Soleil is putting together. We're doing it for my niece, which is a beautiful thing. Because even after I went through that situation, I said, I'm never taking that route again. All right. We have our perspective lanes. We stay in it. And we just support one another from the back of the room, which is a beautiful thing. All right. Like I would do with any of the brothers that wanted to do some things with me. I'm taking, we're doing the artifactual film, which a lot of you have donated to. All right. I'm staying in my lane and doing my part when it comes to the film. All right. Let's take this call. I'll get right back with you. Hold on 1 second. Peace. It's Professor Griff on Serious Minds Radio and TV. Who am I speaking with? Where you calling from?
This is Larry from Maryland. I actually met you the other day, Professor Griff, at the Home Depot. One of the brothers that took a picture with
Oh, okay. Yo, what's up, man? What's that, Larry? You all right?
All right. So, yes, sir. Yes, sir. I just had a question about how to keep my integrity and my consciousness while working for one of these companies, and knowing that most of their products come from prison labor.
Wow.
And brother, I need a job, and it is very difficult out here. I have children.
Right.
Very difficult out here to sustain myself without currency.
Right.
And legal currency, if you want to say that. So
all right.
Just wanted a little bit of advice on how to maintain my integrity there. I still have my red, black, and green kufi on. I'm not compromising my manhood in this place. I refuse to do so.
Right.
But just a word from you would be great about how to traverse this kind of environment that I'm in.
You know something?
And I will hang up the phone and listen to you.
Okay, give thanks, good brother. Peace.
Thank you, brother.
All right. Yeah, that's the brother I kind of met in my travels, man, and went to Home Depot to pick up some things, and brother wanted to dialogue, take a couple of pictures, which I'm always there to do that. Although taking the picture in Dallas got me into some trouble, but anyway, that's another subject for another time. But Larry, we go to these particular jobs because we know we have to make money in order to sustain our lives. All right. My attitude, and this is just my attitude was, let me go pick enough cotton to satisfy them. All right. So I can get up out of here and away from around these people. But what I used to do is prepare myself prior to going to work, and then having to diffuse, so to speak, getting off of work, doing those necessary rituals, not carrying the job home. This is one of the reasons why when they wanted to promote me, I was doing security work, they wanted to promote me to supervisor and all that kind of stuff. I'm like, nope, I'm gonna come take this assignment at one of these empty warehouses or the bank or wherever you want me to do my little thing at. All right, give you all these 8 hours, then I'm gone. So hey, Cave, would you like to do overtime? Nope, I'm good. I'm good with mine. Nope, I'm serious. And any of them jobs that I can actually carry a small book, like this that I went over several weeks ago that I can keep in my back pocket and pull out every now and then to get some tidbits of wisdom from, I would do that on my lunch break. We got to be able to survive this thing. But I understand what you're saying. You moving product at the place where you work, and some of it is from slave labor. And I understand that, and it may get to you in a small kind of way, and it lays at the base of your brain and it nags at you. What you have to be able to do is get off work and be able to connect with like-minded people. All right. So those people could become your support unit. All right. And as Conrad Bernard James just said, you got to protect your spirit, man. These are energy vampires, man. Energy vampires. And we have to understand that to that degree. Not only did they work our people on the slavery plantation to the point where they wanted to do physical, they wanted us to do physical work, baling cotton and all kind of stuff, putting together and picking bales of cotton. They was taking our ingenuity. Let's think about it. The individual who came up with the cotton gin, which was a machine that they took credit for, but they didn't do that. That was us. Let's really think about it. If you were a slave in a cotton field on a plantation, and you kept picking cotton and getting your fingers stuck by the thorns and all that kind of stuff, wouldn't you be the one to sit back and say, wait a minute, I could create a machine that could do this twice as fast, that I could just kick back and sip some lemonade? Michelle Renee, you're right. Energy vampires. That's who they are. So it was a black man that invented this machine that would do that kind of work, be it tobacco, cotton, or whatever it was. All right. But just like Brother Hiawatha dropped on us, when they saw that we were successful in sports, well, I can't really speak about that now because the Atlanta Falcons just lost. We'll talk about that later in the metaphysical, esoteric meaning behind the significance and the hidden meaning behind that whole game, football, and what. But we'll talk about that. But when we started running up on the home run record of Babe Ruth, all right, we discovered that the field, the playing field, the baseball diamond, so to speak, was a lot smaller, right? So by the time the black man got up to bat and was knocking the ball out of the park, white people made the field larger. When we started coming down the court, I'm talking about b-ball now, we started coming down the court, leaping from the top of the key, jamming it, doing 360s and all this kind of stuff. The white man turned around and made the rim higher. You understand what I'm saying? And then when we started knocking them down, shooting left hand behind our back, throwing it over our shoulder, what did the white boy do? Came back around, and not only did he make a three-point thing, he moved the line back to make a three-point shot. All right? So every time we make success in the area in sports, all right, they up the ante. And we answer that. You understand what I'm saying? So we have to understand this particular dynamic and how they think. All right. They always say, in reference to the Falcons, I see some people want to talk about it now, but in reference to the Falcons and the Patriots, all right, this whole patriotic movement, some people say it was rigged. Some people say the Patriots had to win to give that boost behind Donald Trump's presidency to validate it. Now, white people, before the game, white people was walking around with their chest stuck out, even more so now. You understand what I'm saying? It's a victory for racism, white supremacy. You could look at it that way. I'm no one to tell you, because tonight's show is talking about the miseducation or the education of Professor Griff. The phone number is 678-900-0912. All right. We can go into the ISIS papers and we can talk about the significance of the ball games. We could talk about that. All right. But to continue my education, I forgot the sister's name. I said I was going to shout her out. Sister Muhammad said she was going to, if anybody know the sister, can you either have her call or leave a message here? She said she's going to send me the updated version of this book. All right. But two other books that I read before, but I had to go back over and renew my history, pardon me. The African Origin of Biological Psychiatry by Dr. Richard King. This is the revised edition. All right. And of course, my good brother who I listen to every week, along with Ava Muhammad, along with a few other people, the Minister Louis Farrakhan and Dr. John Henry Clark, and a few other people that I listen to every single week. The Falsification of African Consciousness, Eurocentric History, Psychiatry, and the Politics of White Supremacy by Dr. Amos Wilson. All right. The whole idea of educating Professor Griff, I didn't leave it up to anyone to do that. I left it up to Professor Griff to educate Professor Griff. The number of the people watching your video is increasing. 100 people are watching this video. Thanks, Facebook. Really appreciate the information. Of course, along the way, probably next week, I would like to give those top 25 books that you have to read if you're going to claim that you're conscious and you need and you want to have a knowledge yourself. There's 25 books that you have to read. I'm sorry. All right. So in my passing and me studying, of course, Dr. Suzar is part of one of those books that we have to talk about. This is the small pamphlet from her greater work, and this was Black Empowerment Survival Guide. All right, Dr. Suzar. But of course, I wrote about my man and gave him props in my book, my last two books, Black Dot, Urban Culture Decoded, Critical Analysis into the Physical, Mental, and Spiritual State of a New Generation, the Black Dot. So call in, because this is that show where I get educated. DJ Earth One says balance is the key. Enoch and I work on this daily. And you're right, sister. It is a daily struggle. You're not going to get your way with every single thing that you put on the table with your mate, even with your business partners. All right. Settle on the best part is what Elijah Muhammad taught us. All right. Settle on the best part and keep it moving. But even when I disagree, I've learned not to have that discussion with a mean-spirited tone of voice or spirit. All right. And that's real. Most cases with the sisters, brothers, what I've learned is not what you're saying, is how you say it to them. All right. So after the disagreement, after you come to some kind of agreement, you still have to keep the respect intact. And this is very real. All right. Very real. The phone number is 678-900-0912. We're talking about the miseducation of Professor Griff. All right. The miseducation of Professor Griff. And that was a beautiful point that someone on Facebook Live that says most of y'all are watching this from your phone, so you can't send me a message. And I didn't think about that. See? All right. But I'm sure you could type it in and we could actually discuss it. All right. One of the things that I do want to talk about on Serious Minds is the whole idea of having a show that's broadcasting to the vast majority of our people, and the people that are out there are validating information from our open enemy to discuss on a show. Our revolution is not going to take place on Facebook, y'all. I don't know how much of a revolutionary I can be, and the only place that I see you to have a revolutionary conversation is on Facebook. Cheryl Golden says, can we get a list of 25 books? Yes. As a matter of fact, Cheryl, we'll do that next Wednesday night. All right. A list of 25 books that all of us have to read. All right. Is that cool? All right. So next week we'll do that. All right. So people are on here. Are you still on board with Tommy Sotomayor? Like on board, like what does that mean? That can mean anything, Gerald. On board. Am I still on board? Meaning that you're implying that I was on board with him. Listen, I tend to answer questions like that by saying this. Tommy called me, and that was the opportunity for, because he wanted me to be in a film. That was my opportunity to talk to Tommy about all the things I disagreed with Tommy about. I didn't blast Tommy on Facebook or on YouTube. I didn't curse Tommy out. I met with Tommy like a real man, face to face. All right, and Tommy Sotomayor, don't mind me saying this. He paid for the ticket for me to come. And before I was in the film, we had to get something straight. And the thing that we had to get straight and clear was the disrespect of black women, and especially Dr. Francis Cress Wilson. Because I heard that argument between him and Tariq Nasheed. All right. You could even, Gerald, you could even ask the question, am I still on board or cool with Tariq Nasheed? Yes, and always have been. I just disagree with what he said in reference to black women. That's it. I don't mind talking to anybody face to face. I'd rather we talk face to face. Gerald also said, I really should have asked, do you denounce his behavior? Stop that, bro. The very essence of my being and how I operate denounces any behavior disrespecting black women. Stop that. I've even said on this, on my show, that I don't agree with Beyonce. But if I'm backstage and some dude want to make a move on Beyonce or Rihanna or Nicki Minaj or somebody, I'm a real man, dude. I ain't gonna let nobody put their hands on my sister. You're out your mind. You understand what I'm saying? That's how I get down. Now, I may disagree with them philosophically or ideology or on a particular ideology, but that I can take up after they are secure. Then we can sit down and talk. I'm not letting anything happen to any woman on my watch, bro. You understand what I'm saying? And even now, speaking of them two brothers, they got my phone number. And if anybody want to pass their phone number on to me, I'll call them tonight. We can dialogue. Don't make me no difference. Because I often ask myself the question because one of the elders asked me, how long are you going to stay mad, Griff? Either at an individual or brother, or how long are you going to stay mad? We need to grow up out of that behavior. Always having to have beef with somebody in order to validate who we are. No, I'm not. I don't ego trip. I don't do that. All right. That's why I have shows like this, The Miseducation of Professor Griff, where you can call me and ask me those questions. Plain and simple. You'll never find me disrespecting black women like that. All right. And when I hear somebody else do it, I don't have to broadcast it on Facebook. Let me get that brother's phone number. Let me talk to them and say, yo, bro, that really wasn't cool what you said. Let's talk. You understand what I'm saying? Plain and simple. Because if Tommy Sotomayor's mama was in my presence, I wouldn't let nobody disrespect her. Plain and simple. Don't work that way. And let me tell you something that's really real. I've seen some people disrespecting a white woman that I stood up for. It's the mere fact that she's a woman. You understand what I'm saying? It was like, nah, bro, that right there is not cool. That's not the time or the place for that. All right. But Professor Griff, yada, 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 whoop, whoop. I'm like, nah, not right now. There's a different way we can handle that. And that's wise. Because at that point, I see that them brothers weren't going to win that one. You understand what I'm saying? She had already called the peach fuzz. You understand what I'm saying? So I'm like, de-escalate it. Let's go on about our business, man. We at war, man, and we need to keep this in mind. All right. So a couple of battles we may lose, but listen, don't become the demon that you're trying to destroy. I'm going to say that again. Do not become the demon you're trying to destroy. All right. I'm not beyond reproach, Gerald. You can call me and ask me anything because I'm open for that. I'm open to be corrected by those people that support me. You understand what I'm saying? That's just what it is. And hopefully I can set that example for them young brothers that's coming behind me into the conscious community. Just because you read a couple of books and watched a couple of episodes on YouTube, that don't make you a goddamn scholar to the point where you can disrespect the elders. That's not cool, man. That's not cool. That's not cool. And what I try to do, I try to stay transparent, man. Open and real. So when you meet me in public or at the lecture or at Whole Food or Wally World or wherever we meet at, I'm that same dude. I'm the same dude. Plain and simple. All right. So I want to say one last thing in the last few minutes we have left. I called out TMZ. All right. I called them the true Zionist masters or the true master Zionists. The dudes ran up on me in LAX, TMZ. and wanted to interview me about Donald Trump. Some of y'all saw that. All right. I didn't disrespect them, and they didn't disrespect me when we met again. They had to show respect because they know how I get down. I gave them a 10, 15-minute interview. They cut it up and they put it on TMZ. You know, that's not something I normally do on a daily, consistent basis. As you already know, when they came after me with the Dallas shooter thing, I shunned the whole media, all of them. And this is the kind of men and women we have to be, because I got to start thinking 7 generations behind me. And I have to set that example. Regina Sunshine Robinson, peace. So that's just what it is. If you all want to support and donate to Serious Minds, go to my website, www.professorgriff.me. That's professorgriff.me. All right. The only reason why I don't have professorgriff.com is on sale right now for $2,200. I tried to call the dude to get it back. He was like, nah, man, if you got $2,200, you can get it. All right. Yeah. But yeah, it is what it is. But anyway, I really appreciate y'all coming on every Wednesday night, 9 o'clock. I got to prepare my spirit, and my thinking, man, and my brain cells for Brother Rich an hour from now. If anybody want to advertise on here, if you kind of donated and you want me to read something or a flyer or whatever, just let me know something. All right. In the announcements, let me see. I will be, of course, at Aisha Ross thing on Saturday, February 25th. My Aunt Body Therapy Holistic Health and Fitness Studio, 25 West Hamilton Street, Fairburn, Georgia. It's free. Come on out. Myself will be speaking, and Soleil will be speaking. All right. I'll put the flyer up on my Facebook page. Shout out to Brother Rich. We're on tonight. We were on last night. He already uploaded it. Anthony X. Bring PE to Columbia, South Carolina. That may not happen, bro. I'm just letting you know that right now. Artifactual film. All right. I'm going to put the cover up on Facebook. Y'all let me know what y'all think. Thanks to those brothers, man, from the Maryland area that did it. Really appreciate that. Y'all did a marvelous work, man. Really appreciate that. The artifactual film will be out in a few months. Thanks to everyone for donating. That brother and sister that sent me that donation, brother sent me a $7 donation. I love you for that, man. For real. The brother said it ain't much, but I'm supporting you, Professor Griff. That really means a lot to me. The sister that sent me the money from England, I love you to life, sis, for real. They thought enough of me to send me some chump change so I could put some stuff together to continue to make this happen. I put it to some good use. Let me show you what I bought. Let me show you what I bought. I bought a stand for the phone so I could sit here, and while the phone is recharging, I could sit here on Facebook Live, because someone told me I need to get a recharging stand so the phone won't die on me again. So I put it to some good use. I wanted to talk about this dude being buried in this $100,000 coffin. Let me get some more info and we'll talk about that. All right. I really appreciate all the donations. When I get a job, I will totally donate to you, Michelle Renee. Thank you, Michelle. Well, send me an image, Shahid Allah. I got you, Griff. Salute to you too. I love y'all to life, man. I got about 30 seconds there. I got to sign out. Peace to all those brothers and sisters that constantly support, man. Danny Malone, John Trey, everyone, Jabril, all the brothers and sisters from Charlotte and especially from Atlanta in the DMV area. I really appreciate y'all. All right. So I got to sign out until next week. We're going to go over 25 mandatory necessary books to have a thorough knowledge yourself. All right. Next week, we're going to do this. All right. I love y'all to life, man. I got to sign out. DJ Earth One, peace. And the rest of the people here on Google Hangout, peace. It's Professor Griff. Revolution is not an event. It's a process. All right. I am because we are. Therefore, I am. Peace, 7. And the rest of y'all, all right, peace. I am Audi 5. G's, as we used to say. Peace, y'all.